Victoria Winters has returned to the great house at Collinwood, back from her strange and frightening adventure in the past. Now she and all those around her are haunted by the terrible events she witnessed in the year 1795. Events which may change the course of history and forever alter the destinies of all those who live at Collinwood. Indeed, one life, that of Roger Collins, has already been changed because of his marriage to a woman who was a total stranger to him.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You must be Carolyn.
Yes, I am. Who are you?
I'm Mrs. Collins.
Mrs. Collins. I'm afraid I don't understand.
I'm Roger's wife.
Did I hear you correctly?
Yes. Roger and I were married last Wednesday.
I think I'd better sit down.
Are you terribly shocked?
Uncle Roger married. I don't know what to say.
Well, I thought you'd say something like, congratulations.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Forgive me. It's just that...
It's all right, I understand.
I just never dreamed Uncle Roger would marry again.
Apparently no one else did either. Everyone else in the family reacted the same way you did.
I can believe it.
My name is Cassandra, and I'm very glad to meet you, and I hope we'll be good friends.
I'm very pleased to meet you. How long did you and Uncle Roger know one another before you were married?
A day.
I think I'd better stop asking questions. I can't take one shock after another.
Would you like me to fix you a drink?
No, thank you. I'll go upstairs and unpack, and I'll come back down, and we can get to know one another.
Oh, I'd like that. Oh, didn't David come with you?
No, he wanted to stay in Boston for a few days longer.
Do you think he'll disapprove of me?
David's very unpredictable. You may win him over immediately, or he may decide to be very angry.
With me?
No, with his father, for not consulting him on the big decision.
Hi. Carolyn?
You do conduct your business at the strangest hours, Mr. Peterson.
I'm not here on business, Carolyn. I want to talk to you.
I'm not him.
Come down here. I want to talk to you, I said.
I don't like people who give me orders, Mr. Peterson.
Oh, excuse me. Perhaps I'd better go upstairs.
No, it's all right, Cassandra. Oh, the young man who just barged in is Anthony Peterson. Occasionally a lawyer and almost never a gentleman. This is Cassandra Collins, Roger's wife.
How do you do, Mr. Peterson?
How do you do? I didn't know Roger was married.
Yes, since last Wednesday.
Well, congratulations. I have had my disagreements with your husband, but I must say he's to be commended for his good taste.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson.
And good night, Mr. Peterson.
I'm not leaving until you and I have had a talk, Carolyn. Would you excuse us, Mrs. Collins?
Of course.
Come with me.
What are you doing? Let go of my arm!
Have you forgotten how to use the telephone?
What are you talking about?
I've been waiting for you to call me and give me some kind of an explanation.
About what?
That cozy little incident with Barnabas, what do you think?
I told you that night there is nothing between Barnabas and me.
And I told you I didn't believe that.
Well, then there's nothing to discuss, is there?
There's you and me.
And who decided that?
I did.
Well, I'm sorry, but, takes two to tango. Good night, Tony.
I'm not leaving until you tell me why you went to the old house that night.
Well, I hope you have a suitcase with you because you're going to be here a long time.
Carolyn, you don't know what you're doing. In the first place, the man is your cousin. He's old enough to be your father.
Well, aren't we suddenly concerned about Carolyn's welfare?
Well, yes, of course I'm concerned. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't concerned. I can't believe that you're really in love with him.
Oh, will you stop being so ridiculous?
Ridiculous. I know what I saw.
It wasn't what you thought.
Well, then what was it?
You know, you really do have unbelievable nerve.
Now, what do you mean?
I did my best to explain the incident to you that night, but you were too pig-headed to listen. You stormed out of here in a huff without giving me a chance. And you still think you're owed an explanation. Well, you're not getting one from me. If you're so anxious to know the deep, dark secret between me and Barnabas, get him to tell you.
All right. I will. Mr. Collins, my name is Tony Peterson. I'm a lawyer.
Yes, I know who you are.
May I come in?
Well, you appear to be already in.
Sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
I always keep late hours.
Yes, I gathered that. The night that I followed Carolyn here.
The night you did what?
We had a date for dinner. She began behaving rather strangely and asked me to wait for her at Collinwood.
But you didn't wait for her. You followed her here.
Yes.
So, what about it?
I stood outside the window and watched the two of you.
Rather an uncalled-for thing to do, I'd say.
Mr. Collins, I happen to be quite interested in Carolyn.
It's a pity you don't also happen to be a gentleman.
I did what I thought was right. You didn't see the way she was acting that night at Collinwood.
Mr. Peterson, I'm very fond of Carolyn, and just as interested in her as...
I know. That's what I want to talk to you about.
Well, I beg your pardon.
Mr. Collins, I'm very concerned that she may be making a great mistake.
What the devil are you talking about?
I want to know what your intentions are towards Carolyn.
My intentions? You can't be serious.
I'm very serious. And I don't like being laughed at, Mr. Collins.
Well, you shouldn't go around being so amusing, Mr. Peterson.
There was nothing funny about what I saw that night.
There is always something faintly amusing and rather sad about a man who is jealous for no good reason. Come, Mr. Peterson, sit down and let me put the record straight for you.
You've lost your lighter, Tony. Soon you will discover the loss, and you will look for it. And you will keep looking for it. You will feel the warmth of the flame on your cheek. And your instinct will tell you to follow the flame. Find the flame, Tony. And you will find me waiting for you.
So you see, Mr. Peterson, you've gotten yourself worked up over nothing.
Mr. Collins, I stood outside the window and saw you kissing her.
I think I have the right to give my own cousin a friendly kiss.
I would hardly describe what I saw a friendly kiss.
Well, I can't help what you choose to read into it, but I am not interested romantically in Carolyn and never had been. I don't know how I can make the matter any clearer than that. What are you doing?
I was looking for my cigarette lighter. I was certain I put it in my case.
Perhaps you left it at Collinwood. So why don't you go there and look for it?
Yes, I'll do that. Sorry to have taken up so much of your time.
Good night, Mr. Peterson.
Good night. Mrs. Collins.
Oh, Mr. Peterson.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle.
Please don't look at me.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
You always come out here alone at night to cry?
I wasn't crying.
I heard you.
Well, all right. I was crying.
Why?
Oh, please. I don't want to burden you with my problems.
Oh, I don't mind. I have nowhere to go, nothing to do. Besides, it might make you feel better to talk about it.
It's probably just my imagination.
What is?
The feeling that no one here at Collinwood is willing to accept me. I just feel so lonely all the time.
Well, now that's only natural, isn't it? After all, you haven't been here very long. I'm sure everybody will be a lot friendlier after they get to know you better.
Oh, do you really think so?
I'm sure of it. I think they're fairly reasonable people, including your husband.
You probably think I'm being very childish.
Not at all. You're still a stranger here, really. And Collinwood is still a stranger to you. It'll take a little while for you to get used to each other, that's all.
Yes. Yes, I guess you're right. Just a matter of time.
Right. Now, why don't you let me escort you back to the house?
Mr. Peterson,
Yes.
why did you come here?
Well, now, you want to hear something really silly? I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I'd misplaced my cigarette lighter, and I was on my way back to Collinwood to look for it, but for some strange reason, I wandered off in this direction.
Now, that's an amazing coincidence.
What's that?
I have your cigarette lighter.
You haven't?
I found it on the table in the foyer. I was going to give it to Carolyn, and I forgot. After I got out here, I discovered I still had it with me. I was admiring it a few moments ago. Staring at the flame somehow helped me forget my troubles. Isn't a flame a fascinating thing to watch, Mr. Peterson?
Yes, very.
It's even more fascinating to watch the flame flickering in someone's eyes. Can you see the flame in my eyes?
Yes.
Keep looking into my eyes. deeper and deeper into my eyes. And tell me what you see.
I see a man.
Who is it?
His face isn't clear.
Look deeper until his face becomes clearer.
The man... It's me.
Yes. Yes, it's you, Tony. Do you know why that man is you?
No.
Because I'm going to need your help. Are you willing to help me?
Yes.
Good. Then when I need you, I will call you, and you will come to me. Won't you?
Yes, I will come to you.
There you are, Mr. Peterson. Now, put it somewhere where you won't lose it again.
Thank you. Now, why don't you let me take you back to the house?
I'd be delighted. And I hope you forgive me if I say, I think Carolyn is completely wrong about you. You've been a perfect gentleman to me. Barnabas, can you hear me, Barnabas? Barnabas, I must see you and tell you what the future holds.
Angelique, where are you?
Here, Barnabas, by the door.
Get away from me. Get out of here.
No. No, I want to talk to you.
I can't get up. I can't move. What are you doing to me?
Nothing.
Yes, you are.
It's
Why
because
can't
you're...
I move?
It's because you're having a dream. I'm causing you to have a dream so that we can be together again. For just a moment.
Get out of my sight.
Nothing to be frightened of, Barnabas. I won't harm you.
Why don't you do what you want to do with me and get it over with?
You think you can escape me, don't you? You think with the help of a doctor you'll escape, but you're wrong, Barnabas.
Please go away.
I told you it's only a dream.
Then let me wake up.
You'll awake when the time comes. It happened for the first time in this room, Barnabas. Do you remember?
Yes.
It used to be such an elegant room.
Tell me what you want to say, then go.
I came to tell you to beware of dreams.
What do you mean? What evil game are you going to play this time?
Beware of dreams, Barnabas. Of yours and of those of everyone about you. Because that is the way the curse will return to you again. It will be a dream curse.
A dream curse.
Yes. First, one person will have the dream. And that person will remain terrified by the experience. Till they tell the dream to a second person. Only this time, the dream will go a step further and be even more terrifying. And that person will not rest until he has told the dream to a third person. And that person will have the dream, and he will tell it to a fourth. And on it will go, and each time the horror of it will increase, and the terror will mount, and the fear will be more unbearable, until, finally, someone tells it to you, Barnabas. And then you will have the dream. Step by step you will go until the very end. And the dark and terrifying thing that you will find there will turn your blood to ice.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Angelique!